Hello, lovies, my collective, my tribe, my peeps, my people. Um, okay, so already as the universe, what it wants to tell you, uh, I obviously already shuffled. I laid down the cards. Now, what's interesting to me is the bookends. Like it's slow, fast, slow, fast. Um, that tells me you need to slow down with something. Um, this reading makes sense with everything that I noticed. Um, as soon as I saw this card fell out from the deck while I was shuffling. I heard the words reflecting. Um, and today, when I woke up, it was raining. Uh, Now I know this is Ireland and it's supposed to rain, uh, but we haven't had rain for a spell. Um, and I kinda missed the rain. So I woke up happy. Oh my god, it's raining, yes. Uh, but also, rain reminds me to slow down and to reflect. So when I saw this reading, I was like, oh, look, even the weather is in sync with the energies. Uh, so rain tells me to slow down, because rarely people go on walks or for a run or whatever, in the rain. You're just kind of home under your blankie, being cozy and snuggly and all that. And rain being the water, it reminds me of mirror and reflection in the water. So reflecting, uh, slowing down and reflecting. Now, the now why you need to slow down and reflect. There's gonna be energies. It might already be happening for you. I know it happened for me, so there's gonna be energies or yes, energies, but with that, situations and could be people as well. But it's gonna the energies are gonna pump you up, like this King of Wands, right? Now we always say, when it comes to your person, it's the ego. They need to puff themselves up. It's the opposite of the confident snake, right? But it's more about the energies. They're gonna puff you up. You're gonna feel it's like somebody's gonna put oh my god, what's the name, what athletes take to run faster and all that, those drugs. It's like somebody's gonna pump you up with drugs, and you're gonna be so hyper, and you're gonna do things that you usually wouldn't. That's how I feel it. It's almost like, imagine you hate your job and the boss is an asshole, but you were always kind of afraid to say something or to quit the job, because COVID and all that, not the best time to switch jobs or whatever. So you always kind of in the background, just keeping your head down, doing your thing. But now with this boost of energy, it's like you're kicking the door, grabbing your boss and just yelling at them and telling all your truth and everything, everything they did wrong, how much they suck, what an asshole they are. You're just gonna be pumped. uh, and then you're gonna give your resignation, you know, um, storm out the office. Everybody's gonna clap and cheer, uh, but then when you cool down, when you slow down, you'll be like, oh my god, why did I do that? Oh my god, why did I do such a dramatic thing? Like, I could have just went in, give the boss my resignation, and just leave, you know, peacefully without any drama. Like, why did I do that? Like, it's that kind of energy. Something is gonna pump you up, and you're gonna feel like you're invincible, you know. Look, ma, I'm on top of the mountain. I made it. Then you're gonna be, shit, how do I get down? So these are the energies pumping you. This is you, the Knight of Wands, being a little bit reckless. Maybe just saying stuff, out of the blue because you're angry, or your ego is lashing out, And this is telling me, slow down, reflect. And it's funny because this exact thing happened to me like a few days ago. Nothing in the 3D, just energetically. School started on Thursday, and I saw my DM after 2 months of summer break. I was fine throughout the day, and then in the middle of the night at 2:20 a.m., it just hit me, and she was kind of communicating telepathically, and I just burst. I was just lashed out, So in the evening, I had to kind of, sit down with myself and see where it's coming from and all that. Why did I lash out and all that? So this makes perfect sense. You need to let go of something that's not serving you anymore. Basically, these energies, whatever you're gonna do here, is gonna show you something that you thought you let go, but you didn't. And this energy is gonna show you what that exactly is. Something you thought you let go, it's done and over, could be just an emotion, inside you. But something you thought you let go, but you actually didn't, and the universe is gonna show you that. And it's gonna show you for a reason. It's just for your own growth, just to keep growing. Mm, Now with the upper cards, again we have that slow down, you know. This could be you feeling guilty or regret uh, for doing or behaving as you did in this energy when you were in your ego. I also feel like somebody is leaving the home, um, family, spouse, whatever, or they are thinking about it. They are leaving or thinking about it, right? Um, but they also need to, because this is happening, they also need to um, stop and reflect. Something's happening in their life as well that's ending, and they also need to take time and to reflect on that. It's kind of like when you leave a relationship that lasted for years and years, you know. It's always better to just take some time for yourself and not enter a new relationship, you know, like tomorrow. That's never a good idea, you know, because you're gonna drag that unfinished business inside yourself into your next relationship. Then you're gonna fuck up that other person as well, you know. You can't commit to somebody else if you're healing from another person. So this little deer looks like he left this situation and now he's just there watching at the ground, can't move, kinda in shock, kinda not. You know, just standing there and reviewing what just happened. And it's not a bad thing, it's actually good. So if your DM is leaving somebody or something, you have to leave them to deal with it. I mean, you can be always a support and all that, you know, but especially if they are going through a divorce or something, you know, you have to leave them to deal with the aftermath, you know. Don't rush into a relationship right away. They need some time, just like you would need time if you broke up with somebody, you know. Now they might go into into a hermit mode for a little bit, you know, in their cave, be with themselves for a while. Like I said, processing and reflecting, healing. And also give them time to talk about it. You know, like, don't be pushy, don't be, you know, hundreds of questions and all that. Let them open up in their own time when they are ready. But something is happening within their home. It doesn't have to be them leaving. It could honestly be a bunch of stuff. It can be somebody else left. It can be a loss in the family, you know, like that. It can be that they lost a home or maybe a family home. Could be anything, but there is some kind of loss when it comes to the family or their relationship. It can also be with you. Some of them could be feeling like you changed so much that they think that it's dead, that you left, that there's no more future, you know, happy beginning. That could be just an energetic feeling, could be physical, like in the 3D. Maybe you really did leave, you know. And if you did, it doesn't matter when you left, it's just gonna hit them now, I don't know. It's almost like they were distracting themselves successfully, you know, all this time from that breakup or whatever, and now it finally caught up to them. So now they're finally processing, you know, what happened. I hope we'll get more when I clarify, but for now it's just a bunch of little things in the air, and I can't really pinpoint the main, but it is some kind of loss. Could be you, could be on their side with something or somebody. Also be careful with your words. Because there is a feeling like because you didn't let go of something that you thought you did, and the ego is gonna take the wheel. So you might say some hurtful things, you know, and that could crush them a little bit. A little or a lot, you know, depending how you how you spoke. So they could be then reflecting on the conversation that happened, and just thinking it's dead, and there's no beginning of anything, no foundation, nothing. But there is gonna be some wild energies pumping everybody up. Okay, let's use the witches. Tell me about the Knight of Pentacles. And after you cool down, you could be also reflecting, that conversation. Like, oh my god, it's like I was possessed. What happened? Again, like the Eight of Wands. Almost a Knight of Wands. Eight of Wands. Yeah, again, that rushy energy is gonna slow somebody down. Put them to a stop, to think, reflect. Queen of Wands, King of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles. A little bit of a tricky energy, I'm not gonna lie. Again, it's tied to that what I mentioned in one of the previous readings, something or someone putting them in their place. That's what I see with these two, clarifying this little deer. Their ego is gonna be hurt. And that's you. I just see them just like this. They're like a wounded animal, It's like they were always, like this cobra, and everybody was just mad and pissed and whatnot, and then something happens, something puts them in their place, and all of a sudden this puffed up cobra is like a little puppy, little wounded animal, and everybody goes, "Aww." That's how they feel, the energy, like just like a little tiny wounded animal, but a baby animal, something that's cute and you just wanna cuddle it. Again, she represents fakeness, something that they didn't wanna let go, the fake image and all of a sudden they're stripped down, you know. No more masks, no more anything. And I do believe it has something to do with this. It's almost like when you prioritize something practical and some tragedy happens, and all of a sudden you get an epiphany what's actually important and what's not. It's like a shock, it's like a it's like a trauma or of some sort that's gonna make them just shed everything, the fakeness. Imagine they were always walking in a Armani suit or whatever, you know, always the new model of shoes, expensive shoes, real leather and all that. And then this happens, some kind of shocking event, and they just strip down that suit and shoes, and they're just in their underwear and walking down the street, you know, with that blunt look in their eyes, just in pure shock, you know. And everybody's staring at them, but they don't care. They don't see anybody staring, you know. They're just in complete shock. And that's how it feels. Okay, 8 of Wands. See, the Tower. Oh my god, I was wondering if I'm gonna get the Tower. There is some kind of shocking event happening. Like I said, it could be physically, you know, in their environment or with you, or it could be just energetically. Now we have 8 of Wands, Knight of Cups, the Tower, the Hermit, 10 of Cups. Didn't I say they're gonna, when I was talking about this card, didn't I say they're gonna go into a hermit mode, into their cave for a while? See, Hermit. And it has to do with love, with receiving and giving love. Again, if it's a real breakup with you, again, it's gonna be a shocking event. Could be a shock for you as well, you know. I mean, whenever they have a Tower, you feel that Tower as well. So that's what they're gonna reflect on while they're in the hermit mode. It's all about love, the cups, how they behaved with love in their life, what they learned about love, what they were taught about love, um, how they behaved towards somebody who showed them love. I mean, it's just, the main theme is love in general. Could be, it's also self-love. When something shocking happens, we kind of go into a dark place first, and then we tell ourselves, maybe this happened because I really am a bad person, or maybe this happened because I really don't deserve a love or that person. Maybe I'm not worthy of love. Maybe I really am an asshole. We always go into that dark place first before we emerge better, before we heal and realize that we really do deserve love. When it comes to your person, they need to realize how they behaved and what's costing them that behavior, and if they don't want that, they need to change. So again, it's about reflecting, processing, and all that. But yeah, something will definitely happen if it already hasn't. I mean, this whole reading, it is about reflecting and slowing down, but the main reason for that is the Tower. Again, I do feel like that bursting of illusions. This is like the bubble of illusion, right? The Ten of Cups. When you go towards the balloon of illusion with, sticks and needles, it's gonna break. It needed to happen. It needed to happen so you can move forward in victory, if that makes sense. Again, like I said in some previous reading, whenever I'm drawn to the flowers, it reminds me of the Six of Wands of the victory card. So even though it feels like this, even though it feels like a tower, it's there for a reason, for a good reason. So they needed a reality check, and you needed to let go of something that you thought you did, but you didn't. Okay, tell me about the Eight of Cups. So when that tower happens, just Just sit with it and ask yourself why. Um, why did it happen? What is uh, the tower trying to teach me, you know? So don't ask from a negative space, uh, like why am I being punished, blah, blah, you know? Ask it from a more neutral place. What is it trying to teach me? What didn't I see before that you're trying to show me now? Seven of Wands. Standing up for yourself, but in a defensive mode. So it's kind of both meanings of the card in one sentence. Nine of Pentacles. Six of Wands. What did I say? I just mentioned the Six of Wands. And the Hierophant. Now this could be what I mentioned among other things, you know, becoming single. This could also represent the marriage, something long term. This is the single card. So some of your DMs might be getting single. So even though it feels like a loss, I mean, every breakup feels like a loss, you know? Whether it's because you really loved that person and they broke up with you, or it could be like you realizing things and then you feel like you lost your time and energy with them, you know. Whatever it is, it always has a sense of loss, but again, it's good, you know. We already know that most of them are in a toxic relationship or marriage, so if they do leave that toxic marriage or toxic family, it is a victory on its own, you know, even though they feel the loss and there is that sadness and all that. And especially if it's a divorce, you know, it's always messy. You lose a house or you lose a car. Especially if it's toxic, you know, then they fight over kids as well, you know. But we know from the previous readings as well that it's something that was long dead and they needed to get out of it like a long time ago, you know. So that act is a victory on its own, even though there's a sense of loss. And they might not be able to see it right away. The energy that I mentioned here, you're gonna be pumped. It's the same for them, you know. So it might as well be for them on their side, you know. They got pumped up with the energies, and they finally left, you know. And the process now is ongoing, like the papers and all that, and now they're, you know, sitting and reflecting, and oh my god, what did I do? But it's already in the process, you know. They already said what they said, you know, and now it's they can't go back, you know. But again, that tower, it does serve a purpose, you know. Even though it's messy, it serves a purpose. When the tower falls, it always rebuilds something new. Now, if it when it comes to you, like I said, you might be leaving or you left. There's a victory for you as well. It's not like you're gonna be left empty-handed, you know, if you chose yourself and left your person. Again, it could be that spur of a moment, you know, that pumped up energy that's happening at the moment. So you could be feeling fabulous, you know, oh my god, I left and all that. But again, you're gonna stop at some point. You're gonna have to slow down as well and reflect what happened, you know. It's not like you made a bad decision and then you're gonna have to stop and think about it. It's just, you know, processing stuff. Okay, 7 of Wands, 3 of Swords, 3 of Cups, Devil, and Queen of Cups. Don't shut your heart chakra. Don't shut down your heart. You need the heart chakra to translate the energies, to hear your own soul, to hear the guidance, to hear what's the best thing to do. If you shut it down, you're only left with the brain, and the ego lives in the brain. So don't let the ego take the wheel. Whatever happens with this tower, just remind yourself of softness that resides in you, that love, that loving aspect of the Empress, the nurturing aspect. You need to remind yourself that you are not your DM and that you don't have to behave or react like them. You know, you're better than that. You're better than reacting out of ego. Mm. Fears, heartbreak. Fears, heartbreak, third party. Oh, third party, heartbreak, and toxicity. They were always choosing the third party and left you uh, left you in the dry. Left you dry. You were just here minding your own business with your full cup, you know. And it's like they were defending from air or whatever, you know. She's not attacking, she's just sitting there enjoying her wine or whatever. And they are defending themselves like you're a scary lion or whatever, you know. But it's all because there was always a third party at play. It could be a person, it could be just the way of their upbringing and their thinking, could be family, whatever it is. It's a third energy in the air. There was always something or somebody stopping them to come towards you, and it's toxic, and there's no love. It's almost like people stabbing them in the back. So they always have to watch their, you know, their six. Is that how they say it? Watch your six. They always had to sleep with one eye open and all that. They got stabbed in the back by people who they loved and who they thought they loved them. But all they got was a knife in the back. But since they kept going with it, it became more and more toxic. So again, if they are leaving that toxic situation, it is victory, you know. Now you're gonna feel their energy at random intervals. Sadness, anger, depression, not wanting to leave the bed, then on the opposite, you know, pumped up energy. I mean, it's just so wild and messy, like, oh my god. Okay, tell me about the Four of Wands. so nice, it's so hard to read. um, the King of Cups. Well, if it's marriage or family or relationship, somebody who's not giving a fuck. They're demanding to be given things, but they are not giving back. Two of Cups, Temperance, Ten of Pentacles. Well, your connection, you are the real Four of Wands. You are the whole package. You are the one who cancels the devil that was here. It's such a weird image in my head. Like that tower, that storm that needed to happen, that needs to happen. With the angel, it's almost like the universe stirred some shit up, you know, and then because it was needed, but then it knew what it was gonna happen, what kind of mess. So with the angel energy, it's like, oh my god, how to explain it? It's almost like it stirred shit up, but at the same time gave a shot of antidote. Does that make sense? So a trigger or triggers that's gonna happen for you, they need to come out so you can address them. This toxicity needs to happen for them so they can move on, you know, and then this antidote can start kicking in. It's almost like the universe made you both angry so you can let go of that anger, and then at the same time gave you a sedative so you can calm down, because the connection itself needs to calm down. It needs to go into balance again. But as I said in one of my previous readings, there was certain level of toxicity building up within the connection. So it's almost like a volcano, you know. And with this tower, the volcano is erupting, but it needs to erupt, it needs to release that pressure inside, that lava and steam and everything, so it could cool down. So this is the cooling down. Something needs to release that's toxic on both sides, so you can come in balance once again. It's like the ultimate cleanse, you know. Now when it comes to their marriage, they thought it was a soulmate, you know. Could have been a lavish wedding and all that, but it was all practical based, pentacle based. They could have worked well together in the beginning, because each of them had some kind of I want to say agenda, but maybe not necessarily agenda with them. It brings me back to one of my readings where I said maybe your person wanted to leave the family and start their own, and their spouse wanted their money or whatever if they're rich, you know, and then they came together, you know, to basically get what each of them wants, you know. So in that way, it could have been great at the beginning, you know. They left the family, they were starting something new, they were focused on that, you know, of finding a new home, of moving out, taking their stuff out, you know, just going on that honeymoon and not seeing the family for a month or whatever, you know. And the spouse was happy because they got all that money. Now that's just an analogy, you know, it doesn't mean it happened literally like that. But the spouse was also happy, you know, because they got all this money, and now they can invest and do what they always dreamt about doing, you know. And they were both happy in that way, you know. And when you're happy, it's easy to be in a relationship, you know. But then shit started, you know, and it just went out of balance and more toxic. The money ran out, they made bad investments, you know. The family is still nagging your person, you know. They thought they would be free, but they're actually not. Again, it's just an analogy. Again, not equal give and take. They were kinda equals at the beginning. Like I said, everybody was happy, everybody got what they wanted. but it turned out to be just an illusion or whatever, you know, especially if one person wanted to leave the family and they thought, you know, it was gonna be great if I marry, you know, it was like their escape plan and scapegoat, but they actually didn't do much, you know. They just moved to the house next door, like nothing changed, you know. And because the other person wanted the money, they were always, you know, like what's the word, they were always indulging the mother-in-law, the dad, you know. So they kind of put themselves in the family business, you know. Just like this person was a ticket out for your person, your person was a ticket out for them, so they can infuse themselves in the family, you know, in the family business. So by that, your person at the beginning thought they were gonna be done with their family, but now they're even more close because their spouse is working in the family business, you know. Again, everything went to shits after some time. So again, it's more about taking than giving. It's more about blaming the other and not yourself, and they are both guilty of that. Again, it was fine in the beginning, but it went south pretty quickly, you know. The water in the cups dried out, you know. Something that was lovey-dovey went cold, went swordsy. And they did try to fix it many times. This is a card of reconciliation. They tried to fix it many times, even before you even came into the picture. But it just doesn't work, you know. If you are just taking and not giving, it's not gonna work. And then you came along, the Nine of Cups. You were the real deal. That's also why this Ace of Swords is here. They realized that you were the real deal, but yeah, it was already in their head. It was already too late, you know. They were I'm already married, it's gonna be messy if I leave. What if my DF doesn't want me anymore, you know, all those fears and whatnot. But it's a pretty nice roll, you know. I feel very calm when I look at this roll. Whatever shitstorm happens or is happening, um, it is, believe it or not, to restore peace and calmness. Even if it's just closure, you know, between two soulmates. It needs to happen so you can have a nice, nice loving conversation, even if you're both, you know, going your separate ways. Especially if that is happening, you know, the universe wants to make sure that you are doing it right, that there's no resentment or anger or disappointment, you know. It wants you both to have closure that you deserve, also so you don't bring toxicity back in some other life when you meet again, you know, because that is gonna come up if it's left like that. So I just want to close the chapter very neatly with a bow on top, you know. Or put you two together, you know. So you can have a non-toxic relationship, you know. Whatever it is, it's trying to simply balance things. Okay, tell me about the Eight of Wands. I would say somebody returning to mend things. The Moon. It reminds me of that hermit in the darkness of the cave. I need more. Knight of Wands and the Tower. And we finish with the Tower. Such a dramatic exit. It's bringing me back to the beginning, what I already said. It could be something you say or they say, and it's just, you know, explosive because it's from the ego. I know it's normal. We are all humans. We are allowed to get angry and ambushed, you know, especially if you're ambushed, and that triggers that anger, you know, it's gonna come out. I would say they are returning for that conversation or whatever needs to happen, and it's gonna end with the Tower. And it's funny because this was the beginning, and it shows up now at the end. Um, they're gonna come back to talk to you, and somebody might get angry. Could be you, could be them, could be both. A tower happens, and then everybody goes into a reflection mode, slowing down, you know. Rewinding what just happened. Oh, interesting. It makes sense. It happened, like I said, it happened to me a few days ago. Energetically, but still. And I do believe it's gonna be like unexpected. You're not gonna see it, you know, the moon. The moon is kind of bouncing off these two, you know. You're not gonna see them coming, and it's gonna stir up some reaction in you. Like I said, it's gonna trigger something that you thought it was long gone, but it's not. Surprise. The moon, Two of Pentacles, Two of Swords, Emperor, Seven of Cups. This unknown feeling is gonna confuse you. It's gonna confuse you. Why did they show up now? What are they yammering about? Just why, you know? And then your response is gonna confuse them. That's why they're gonna go into that hermit mode, you know, to think what just happened. I mean, everybody is just gonna be so fucking confused when this tower hits. Even I was confused when it hit me. Like, what the fuck? But again, it has its purpose. It is gonna be confusing, but it has its purpose. You might not see the purpose. You might be completely in the dark here, you know. The moon, the Two of Swords, you know, darkness, unknown, the blindfold, the confusion. You could feel like you're completely in the dark, not knowing what's happening, why did it happen, why now. Again, that's them showing up, and you're like, well, what? You know, trying to make sense. But they are also trying to make sense, you know, because they didn't expect the reaction that you're gonna have. They're always kind of expecting that Ten of Cups energy, you know, that fantasy land that they created in their mind. and whatever happens that isn't 10 of cups, it confuses them, puts them out of balance, you know, and all that. So that's them, you know, thinking what they said. Maybe I should have said this, and then that would happen, or maybe I shouldn't have said that, and you know, just going back and forth, back and forth. So basically, everybody's gonna be confused. So if you felt this energy, or if anything happened in the 3D that sounds like this, like I said, it's there to release that volcano of stagnant emotions, of dormant emotions. They need to be released in order to for the connection to come into balance again. So whatever triggers you, just try to find out why that something triggered you, why did it show up, what is it teaching you. You know, focus on the emotion itself. Don't put face on it. You know, if it's your DM who triggered you, don't put their face on the trigger because you're gonna be even more mad. Just focus on the feeling. So yeah, that's your reading. Tower, a big tower. It's like a major shock. Even if they are leaving the spouse or family business or whatever, you know, it's still gonna be a shock, a huge shock. You know, especially if they were pretending like everything's fine in the marriage, you know, we're a power couple, everything's fine, everybody's looking up to us. And then all of a sudden you tell everybody you're getting a divorce, you know, it's gonna be a shock, you know. Especially if they believed the lies, right? Or if they suddenly leaving the family business, again, it's gonna be a shock for the family. Whatever it is, it's a huge shock. That's the best word I can use. It's just shock. So yeah, shock, and then silence and slowing down and reflecting. It's like a huge tsunami, you know, just sweeping everything, people, buildings, cars, everything. And when it goes back down, it's just silence, you know. Silence and scorched earth. And you're just standing there and looking how everything is just wiped out in a matter of minutes, you know. Everything is gone, everything is just flat. No more buildings, no more your favorite cafe, your grandma's house, gone, everything gone, you know. It's that kind of feeling. Tower hits, and then silence. And reflecting. shock, and then antidote. So yeah, that's your reading. It was quite confusing at moments, but I hope I delivered properly so you can understand it. So yeah, that's it. Just go with the flow, you know. That's the best you can do. Don't fight anything, even the triggers. Don't fight them. Just go with them. Go with the flow of triggers. That's it. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and also comment, share, subscribe. There's a PayPal link in the description box if anybody wants to support my channel. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. I love you. See you in the next one.